three more games to come for you this afternoon. And S.Taylor, a man you'll be pretty familiar to seeing in PDC darts. He's played plenty of it. You might have seen him last weekend at the European Darts Open, the opening Euro Tour event of the year. He won his opening game before going out in the second round. S.Taylor beat Fabian Hertz, the host nation qualifier, but lost out to Gerwin Price in the last 32. However, you won't be used to seeing this fella, Kevin Knopf, not unless you spend your time going to European Tour qualifiers, and they're not really that big a draw with the crowds. If you have been going to them, you probably will see him. You probably know all about him, because he's been to 26 of the flipping things over the last couple of years, and this is the very first time that he's managed to make it through to a Euro Tour.
First game on.
I get the feeling that S.Taylor is in no mood to hang around. And another week, another venue, another home nation qualifier. And we have already touched on the fact that Knopf means button, hence the nickname, the button. I love it when they're easy to explain.
You know, well, look, I mean, he's already 1-0 up on S.Taylor in the nickname battle because he's got one. Scott doesn't have one.
Having said that, a week ago, there was a song about S.Taylor when they were singing, "There's only one S.Taylor."
Well, yes, and you can have walking in a brackets, Scott close brackets, Taylor Wonderland as well if you want, but I can't help feeling like that's cheating.
Well, we were talking earlier about Martin Atkins, who was defeated earlier against Luke Humphries, and saying there were two Martin Atkins.
Yes.
And we were informed by, that was a wide.
Wow.
Oh, he gets the zoom on the 12 as well.
If you zoom in on the treble 20 there, you don't see that dot.
We were talking about Martin Atkins, and both of them are playing for England next week.
Oh.
Richard Ashdown informed us of that. And
do you get your name on your shirt if you play for England?
I don't know. I don't know whether you get any naughty red trousers as well.
There's the Players Union, the PDPA man's Andy Scott is a man to talk about player apparel. Something of an authority on it. Tell you what, Kevin Knopf is 44. Probably rivaling Roby John Rodriguez for biggest hair or biggest quiff in darts.
Wasn't there someone? Wasn't the pigeon good for the quiff as well?
The pigeon was good for the quiff, yeah. Mike van Duivenbode. But there's some real sort of structure to that.
There's some blow dry action there. Single 20 for tops for Scott. It's a good one to the left. Gives him plenty of room. This would be a way to announce yourself on the Euro Tour. He doesn't hang around, does he?
He doesn't, but there's some erratic stuff in there, isn't it? I mean, he's had 7 visits and he's not down below 100 yet. And he has just lost the leg.
That doesn't cut it against Scott, who's got a lot of experience on the Euro Tour. And he's been doing it for a good couple of years. In qualifying, he looked rather comfortable against some tricky opposition. He beat Kirk Shepherd 6-0. That is a good win, because Kirk is a very good player. And he's been playing decent this year. James Richardson 6-3. And the one that sticks out for me, above the 6-0, is to beat Richard North 6-2 to qualify. That's a very good win indeed.
Well, North is a 2-time semi-finalist on the Euro Tour and a Pro Tour finalist. S.Taylor, of course, a Pro Tour finalist.
41.
But wasn't enough for him to keep hold of his tour card. Now, he's got the first dart in a decent place and he's unable to follow it. That's not a good sign, Kevin Knopf.
It's not. I think the last game last night in qualifying against Nico Kurtz that we saw last week against Kim Ibrex, from what I've been told, there were a lot of edgy darts at the end of that match, and that makes sense considering what we've seen of Nico Kurtz.
Well, with Kevin, you know, it's taken him a quarter of a century of opportunities to qualify for one of these. It must obviously have meant a lot to finally get over the line. Now, hang on. Oh, behave, he couldn't, could he? Oh, my days! Oh, the button nearly pins the button for an unlikely 167.
How would they say that in Yorkshire? That were close.
60.
Got to tidy it up, though. That's not a bad thrown dart, that. And that wasn't that bad either.
No, they were close. Yeah, it's just a bit erratic from Scott as well, and he has that tendency to pull them because from a technical perspective, he does wing that arm a bit.
Oh, it's a very violent action, isn't it? And these are right on the wire. Again, the step to the right. And this time, he skewers it into double eight for his first ever leg on the European Tour. The 22-year-old from Berlin is on the board.
But when Scott gets it right, it looks very destructive.
Oh, a big 180 hitter when everything's in sync, as Rod Harrington would put it.
Was Rod saying in sync or en sync?
He wasn't. No, I'm not sure Rod Harrington is aware of NSYNC, the band, or their music, as we call it.
97.
There we go. There we go. Is he just settling down a bit here, Kevin? Because he looked like a rabbit in the headlights for the first leg in a bit. He threatened to take out the 167.
44.
It took him a little while to pin that double eight to level the match, but at least he was sticking them right on the wire, and they were well thrown darts.
94.
And things are starting to go for him, and he's left it again.
Well, maybe he's at the stage now, Kevin Knopf, where he's in need of the experience on the stage, and maybe he could improve in a way that Martin Schindler's improved in the last couple of seasons.
60.
He's only 22.
Scott, you require 135.
This is our first chance to have a look at it.
There's the 5.
45.
He's left 90.
Kevin, you require
But
107.
Scott looks genuinely puzzled as to what's going on.
87.
And what's
Scott,
going on is he's only just got this shot because of a miss from Kevin Knopf.
Oh, you know what? Before he even threw that,
58.
you were worried that
Kevin,
he
you
wouldn't be able to stay
20.
straight, because there has been a lot of stuff left and right. And that is 2-1 to the German. Now, last weekend at the European Darts Open, the first Euro Tour of the year, we didn't see much from the host nation qualifiers. We didn't have any of the German Tour card holders there because Max had forgot to enter. So as a seeded player, he wasn't there. We didn't see the other guys qualifying. But there wasn't any German representation beyond the opening day. We've already seen Jihan Artuk have absolutely no power to stop Boris Koltsov, who, in a rather exciting turn of events, the Russian has really produced what we all know he can, but he's done it for the first time on the European Tour stage.
121.
I think erratic is probably the right word for Scott Taylor today. There hasn't really been any consistency with any part of his game, and he's going to have to scrap this one out. Now, I looked at the statistics for Kevin Knopf last night when he was coming through qualifying. He had 4 games.
40.
There was 6-5 at the end against Nicol Kurtz, which was very scrappy. He only averaged 81 to get through. But the one before that, he beat Thomas Jungens 6-2 with a 94 average. That was his best performance. That's decent.
That's pretty solid. Pretty solid.
140.
And he looks a completely different player, doesn't he, from middle of the second leg.
Oh, funny sort of way. He reminds me of Mario Götze.
Kevin, you require 166.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
A deadly little predator. And he's grown in confidence in this game, I think.
There is one man in the ascendancy here, and Scott Taylor, the more experienced player, is going to have to find a way of asserting himself, because at the minute he's second best.
Another single 20, which he misses. And he misses another single number. So he just needs to compose himself a little bit more, because when he's going to the oche, he's quick. When he's throwing, he's quick. When he's retrieving, he's quick. He needs to just take a deep breath.
95.
Can't afford to keep missing single numbers, because you're diminishing the amount of opportunities you have to kill the leg off. Single 5. That's only just in. Dean's in as well. He has got a 3-1 lead. Scott Taylor's going to be livid with this performance.
Well, Scott Taylor is barely into the 70s in the averages at the minute. This is a man who has made a Pro Tour final. We know that he has got, and he's upturned palms there. He doesn't know why this is going so badly, but this is always the fear with Scott Taylor. When things are going great, he can just pile it into that treble 20, and this is better. There we go.
Yeah, the rhythm on those first two darts was much better. It was a bit more deliberate.
I think that's what he's doing. He's trying to go back to basics, and he's thinking about his throw. That's unfortunate. Thinking about his throw to try and eliminate those big savage jerks, that explosion from the shoulder, where he loses control.
And when he gets it right, this is what happens. I mean, what a contrast. He's on 54 for the 9 here. And I don't think he was on 54 18 in the last leg.
It is almost as if Scott Taylor has come out here expecting to just blow Kevin Knopf away and not face much of a challenge. He's found himself trailing by 2 legs, and then he's realised he's got to go back to basics and just make sure that he's getting his throw correct, that he's putting, you know, straight, consistent visits, because at the times he's been slamming it into the 5s and 1s, and that 1 dart in the 12 has been alarming. This is better, though.
It's almost like someone's hit the alarm clock snooze button, and he's woken up 6 minutes too late. But he's not out this game by any means. He has the higher level of these two players, and he's starting to show it. Now, Kevin Knopf has got some support in this crowd. There's a certain Robert Allenstein out there, and he has a great nickname, doesn't he, Dan?
The Volcano. Yeah. Good nickname.
I remember when he played Steve Hine in a very late game once on the Euro Tour, and he erupted. It was a great celebration.
I was trying to remember who he'd played. It was a fantastic game of darts. Yeah, Steve Hine, wasn't it? The Muffin Man. Now, Knopf, let's see what your counting's like. You're going to leave 167 again? Well, you might do better than that. Oh, no, that's not what you wanted, but it saves it, rescues it.
Certainly Chris Tarrant there, but we don't want to give you that.
Well, Scott Taylor, that's another one where he's just strayed from the straight and narrow.
Too many darts are starting to dip at the end for Kevin. And Scott Taylor is starting to take this game by the scruff of the neck. Double 12. Excellent. Really good response from Scott Taylor. 25 darts for 2 legs. That's exactly how Boris Koltsov started his match earlier. It just goes to show the level that Scott Taylor's got in the locker, and he has found the key.
96.
Well, it's all well and good putting in this spurt to get back on level terms and become favourite again, but it won't be worth much if he reverts to how he was in the opening 4 legs. So Scott Taylor has got to keep focused and keep doing the simple things correctly. And he's kind of doing that now, isn't he? The throw looks a lot more controlled. You're not seeing him really just hoy it wherever.
That sounds like something Scott would say.
Yeah, it does a bit.
Hoy it wherever.
Yeah.
98.
Getting the counting right as well, so he's thinking clearly, Scott Taylor.
I think over the last 2 or 3 minutes, he's stopped thinking and he's just playing. He looks like he's in the zone right now. That might take him out the zone.
85.
Cuts the score in half, and that's enough right now. But even that 5 didn't faze him, whereas earlier in the match it did. So it says to me he's a bit more focused.
Yeah, we are still seeing the odd erratic dart, but he's not following it with another. That leaves the ball.
60.
Worried it.
Give that a bit of welly, didn't
154.
He doesn't leave you doubting, does he?
Yeah, if it gets hit, it stays hit.
98. Scott, you
Well,
require 25.
some pressure. Double 12 again. Now double 6.
19.
A chance to get back in this game because Kevin Knopf has not been able to live with Scott Taylor the last 2 legs.
46.
Oh, but 2 darts missed for the lead and another break of throw.
There is Robert Allenstein in the bleachers to the left. And 1-1-1. How much of that can he see? He might have to go high left.
No score.
He went low,
Kevin, you require
and you can't
10.
do that. So Knopf,
Game
no
shot,
hesitation,
second play. Kevin Knopf.
to the delight of the German fans. Robert Allenstein there.
Well, this is a feature of the change to the Euro Tour this year. You're going to be seeing more host nation qualifiers, and none of them will have tour cards. So, although you will see your more established German and Dutch names who come through the host nation qualifiers, you know, you'll be seeing Max Hopp and Gabriel Clemens, Martin Schindler, Robert Marjanovic. You see them over the course of the year as they qualify for these. But those host nation qualifying spots are going to guys, all of them now go to guys without tour cards. So the likes of Kevin Knopf, who've been knocking on the door, trying, haven't got their chance. They will get their chance. What are they going to do with it this year? Right now, Kevin Knopf is giving himself a real opportunity of making some money. We saw Nico Kurz last time out in the opening European Tour event of the year play some pretty encouraging stuff, and then he just could not get over the line.
Does make me wonder what kind of shirt he will have potentially for
54.
an event in the future. I'd love to see some caricatures from Button Moon.
I'm not sure if Button Moon's a thing in Germany.
Should be.
Well, I mean,
82.
look, I'm not an authority on German kids' TV. I'll say that now, Nico.
100.
Right, you don't have to have it in the right language. Everybody watched Pingu.
That's true. I assume. Again, I don't know. Pingu might be banned in Germany for all I know.
Wouldn't shock me.
Wow.
I don't know what they were saying.
45.
I would just laugh at the fact that the penguin would go like that. I thought it was really funny.
Go what?
No, let's not go there. Let's not go there.
100. Kevin, you require
Now,
160.
Scott Taylor's not going to believe that he's 4-3 down. He's got to keep grinding. And
81.
Oh,
that
that's
last
an awful
dart's a
dart.
nightmare.
Score, you require 132.
But he should get a shot at a double for a 5-3 lead.
And that throw broke down just at a crucial moment. Look at the distance he's missed all those targets by, Scott Taylor.
39. Scott, you require 104.
He is clinging on by the skin of his teeth here, Taylor.
Nowhere near that treble.
52.
And
Kevin,
as
you require
good as he was
40.
in the middle of the game, he's really lost it now. But Knopf, one more.
No
That could
score.
well be
Scott, you require
huge
52.
misses and a massive opportunity for Scott Taylor to stay in this. He misses high as well. They weren't
Kevin,
badly
you
thrown
require
darts.
40.
They actually were very well thrown, just didn't dip at the end. It was still the same story for Kevin Knopf. Can he find the target this time?
Down for double 10. And the button is one away. There have been two absolutely filthy pub legs in this game. That was one. The opening leg was another.
100.
They've won one each. But they could have gone either way. Knopf will feel this game could have been done and dusted by now.
He is visibly trying to stop smiling, Kevin Knopf. When he was approaching the hockey there,
45.
he's in one of those moods where he was so happy, where he was just wanting to smile and giggle. Well, here's the thing, Kevin, you haven't won this match yet. You've still got to
125.
win one more leg. It's very easy for someone of Scott's ilk to go and blitz you with 3 in a row
42.
to get a 6-5 victory. So you've got to be very, very wary of that.
Well, he's done it once already in this game, Scott Taylor, where he's gone from
85.
absolute scattergun firing it left, right, high, low, and then he just seems to have composed himself and done the simple things and got his throw sorted out, and all of a sudden he looks world class. But it didn't last. And that
174.
is the best scoring visit that we have seen from Kevin Knopf.
93.
That's a good last start from Scott Taylor. Just to keep that advantage.
56.
6 starts from
Scott, you
98 then.
require 98.
This is for a hold. Double 19.
96.
Oh, you silly boy. You ridiculously silly boy. That is a lazy, careless dart, and it means that Scott Taylor has landed himself in the madhouse. That could cost him the match, genuinely.
He hasn't been able to hit it.
Kevin, you require 144.
Eloquently put from my commentary colleague that leaving double one in that spot was a genuinely big mistake.
94. Score, you require 2.
Well, he can't do it again. And he doesn't do it again, and that is a massive, massive let-off for Scott Taylor, because Knopf would have been coming back with probably 2 darts for the match. He is still throwing for the match here.
It's at this point we find out what he's made of. We asked the same question of Nico Kurtz last week when he was leading against Kim Huybrechts. He squandered 7 match darts.
85.
What can Knopf do in the approach? And he's been short on the first 4 darts.
58.
And an overcompensation there hands Scott Taylor the darts effectively, if he wants them.
Another one of those wild ones, and Scott Taylor just trying to compose himself.
85.
Finding this very difficult, but one big treble per visit, even if you stick one in the 5 of the 1, it might be enough in this situation.
136.
Well, under the circumstances, that may be the best visit of the match for Kevin Knopf. He's going to need
95.
more of it.
This has been a real slog at times. Kevin Knopf
58.
has spent months and months and months trying to make it to a Euro Tour event. He's finally done it here this weekend in Hildesheim, and he's given himself a chance of winning, because he's got 6 darts from 192.
78.
Oh my word, that's such an important dart.
What a treble 18. No treble, and
Kevin, you require
one very small
114.
number there has probably given 6 darts from 114. Nervy stuff.
82.
It's going to have to do.
133.
Has to pray that Scott Taylor doesn't take the 133. It's a very difficult shot. Now, 3 darts in hand, 32. You couldn't ask for a better opportunity to win a match on the European Tour.
Kevin, you require 32.
He's hitting roughly 1 in 4 of his darts at double. He's got 3 in his hand here. He's just nodded to his supporters over on the side there, because he thinks he's got this. And he has! Kevin Knopf is a debut winner on the European Tour. 26 times he tried to qualify for one of these, and it never happened until this weekend. But he has found a way to battle past Scott Taylor, and we have our first host nation qualifier on the European Tour in 2019, and this 22-year-old from Berlin will now go up against the 2-time world champion Adrian Jackpot Lewis in the second round. What a dream weekend this is turning out to be for the button.
So ist das. Das gehört mit dazu zur European Tour. Gratuliere dir. Das, man hat dir angemerkt, das ging an die Nieren, ne?
Ja, das stimmt. Ich weiß nicht, was ich sagen soll, ich bin glücklich.
Er ist glücklich. Das ist schon mal gut. Was ist die größte Schwierigkeit? Du kommst zum ersten Mal auf die Bühne. Du hast mit Sicherheit auch schon mal, weil du oft auf die Events bist, mal hier oben schon mal gestanden und geguckt, wie ist es so? Was ist am ungewohntesten?
Keine Ahnung.
Ich kann nicht sagen. Wie heißt deine Mutter?
Laura.
Da steht sie, ist auch mit dabei. Ah, sehr gut. Marcel mit dabei, ganzer Fanclub ist mit da. Genieß es. Das ist, da geht der Puls erstmal hoch. Das ist einfach so, ne? Warst du dir sicher, dass du checken würdest hinten raus? Oder was für Gedanken sind dann im Kopf gewesen?
Ja, natürlich. Ich war mir sicher.
Kevin, gratuliere. Wir sehen uns morgen wieder. Er ist völlig durch. Toller Auftritt von The Button, Kevin Knopf.